Welcome to Unit 4.9. In this unit, you're going to learn how to record a macro. In the lesson that follows this, you will learn how to assign a macro to a button and also to the quick access toolbar. Let me show you an example of what a macro is. Let's take this example in front of us. You learned in a previous lesson how to right-click and group in pivot tables, for example, to group into weeks, months, quarters, years, etc. So if I click on weeks there, it will change it to weeks, to months, to quarters, to years. So it's very effective, especially for users who don't know Excel very well. It's easier to get them to click on a button than actually do the actual work itself. So this would be assigning a macro to a button. But first we need to record the macro. So what a macro does is it actually records your keystrokes and then plays it back. And then you assign that playback to a button like this, for example. Before you do anything, though, you need to have the developer tab put on your ribbon at the top here. So you can see I do have ribbon, but you won't have it there by default. In order to do that, we need to go to File, into Options, customize your ribbon, and on the right hand side you'll see, you won't normally have a tick there next to developer. You need to put a tick there and OK. Once you've done it once, it's there permanently, and you'll see our developer tab is there now. Right, so I've created a pivot table. Here's my raw data, and I've just created a pivot table with the dates and a sum of the amount. So I'm going to record myself right-clicking over here and grouping into months or quarters or years, etc. And then in the next lesson, I'm going to teach you how to assign it to a button. So to start, we click on Record Macro. The first thing it wants is a macro name. Remember, you cannot put spaces here. You would have to use underscores. I'm going to call this years. You could assign it a shortcut key, which I'm not going to because I'm going to assign it to a button. Store macro in. Now, two very important things here. Your personal macro workbook would allow you to use that macro in any open spreadsheet, even a new one. But in this case, we just want it for this particular workbook. We're going to do one after this for personal macro workbook. Click on OK. Okay, I already have one, so I'm just going to replace it. So you can see that it's recording me. Even if you look in the bottom left-hand corner, it says a macro is currently recording. When I'm finished, I need to click on Stop Recording. Remember, don't click everywhere. Every keystroke you're doing, it's actually recording you. So I'm going to right-click in the date column and group like I would normally. And this particular one is called years, so I'm just going to record myself doing it in years and OK. And that's all I need to do. Now I need to stop record. Let's put it back to days. To test if this macro works, you can click on Macros, and you'll find it over here. Here's years, and I'm just going to run it, and I can see that it works. I haven't assigned it to a button yet. We're going to do that in the next lesson. So basically, it just records every keystroke. Once you've learned how to code in Visual Basic, you can actually get into the macro and step into it, and you can see there's code behind here. So once you learn how to code, you can then edit a macro. For now, if you make a mistake, you need to re-record the macro. You probably wouldn't be able to edit it. Let's do a macro that's available in all open workbooks now. Let's say all my main headings need to be dark blue, white text, size 12, for example. I could record myself doing that. And then when I mention the quick access toolbar, remember that's at the top, I can put a button there that I can just click on and it will adjust and format my headings. So let's record macro here. I'm going to call it heading. And this needs to be in your personal macro workbook, and OK. I'm not going to record myself clicking anywhere because it's actually going to keep a record of that. So I'm going to go straight to the home ribbon, choose dark navy blue, text color white, and bigger and bold. And that's all I need to do. Back to developer, stop recording. Let's test if it works. So these are all my main headings. And let's go macros. choose heading and run it. Okay, so I can see it's formatted in dark navy blue white text, so it does work. So what we're going to do next is we're going to learn how to assign these to a button. But that's how you record a macro.